right, on the Trout Trix worm. No, like a couple minutes. Oh yeah, look at that. That's sweet. Sweet. Oh yeah. He's a fighter. Oh, beautiful.
That's big. Might be the biggest one of the day. Certainly the hardest fighting of the day.
Come closer. Lip. There you go. Let him drop him in there. There we go. Sweet. There we go. That was not the correct way to net him, but he's in the net, so.
Yes, he is.
Oh, look at that. That's the Trout Trix worm. Oh my.
That's down there.
That's down there. That's awesome. Okay. I want that leader back. Howdy guys, Kel Kellogg here. Welcome back to the channel. If I sound a little hoarse, it's because a couple minutes ago I sucked in a bug while I was filming, and it's still in there. I've been coughing and drinking water, but it's still down there somewhere tickling around and kind of driving me crazy. But anyway, down to a, I think I just inhaled a bug. Down to a double hook rig right here, made such that the top, crazy. But anyway, forward, let's go forward. That fish you saw us catch in the beginning of this video was caught while trolling a soft plastic worm. I'm not talking about a real night crawler. I'm not talking about a gulp worm, which is actually a natural bait as well since it's made out of soybeans. I am talking about a 100% plastic artificial worm, just like that pink Trout Trix worm right there. For the past 2 years, I have spent a ton of time experimenting with a variety of different types of plastic worms for trout trolling, and I've learned a lot, and I've also learned that we are just starting to scratch the surface in terms of trolling soft plastics for trout, especially soft plastic worms. I'm primarily using two types of worms these days. I'm using my Trout Trix worms, which if you've been watching the channel, you visited my store, you'll see them in the store. We sell these in kits. It's a very slim profile, 3-inch worm, very versatile. They hold scent really well. They come in a variety of colors. Pink is a real killer, natural. We've had some success on orange, bold pink, and of course, the red worm. It's a very red worm. I also have white worms, chartreuse worms. They all work at different times because you know how fickle trout can be in terms of color. Some days they want orange, some days they want red, some days they want white. Who knows? Well, with the Trout Trix, there's a variety of different colors to choose from. And once you get the rigging down, they roll through the water very crisply. They just flat out fish. Sometimes we troll them naked, sometimes we pair them with a dodger. We troll them pretty much like we would troll a natural night crawler. Let me show you the rig that was working so well for us today. So I was running lead core today. The hot depth was about 6 feet deep today, so I was using my lead core rig, one color of lead core, and it's bringing a main line down to a mini willow leaf dodger. We played with gold, chrome and blue like that was working really well. We put a little piece of blue tape on there, so that was working. We had about a 30-inch, 10-pound test fluorocarbon leader down to a double hook rig, octopus hook in the nose of the worm, and a size 14 treble down towards the tail of the worm. And I was just rigging that worm on that double hook leader, so it had a little bend in it. That bend is what provided the roll. Just like a natural worm, trout will hit plastic worms if they're not rolling. They hit them a whole lot better if they are rolling. So we were rolling it. We had one trout today take the worm so deep that I had to go way down its throat after I dispatched it with the pliers to get my leader back. Both hooks were in the trout's stomach. I mean, he thought that worm was real. He sucked it in and down it went. I was using Procure sweet corn scent today. That's been working well. Sometimes I use nightcrawler scent. Sometimes I use garlic. Sometimes I use anise. But out here recently, when I've been fishing with my clients, it's been, sweet corn has been really effective. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what we've been running. So that was the hot combo today on the trout tricks. Now I was also running another worm that you guys have never seen, the trout have never seen. Very few anglers have ever seen this worm. Let me grab it. Let me introduce it to you. These worms are not available on the market yet, but at some point in the 2022 season, I will have these in the store. My small worm is called a trout Trix, because it tricks trout. Well, this is called a trout stick because it straight out hits them over the head. Now you're fine. Oh, it's a nice big fish. Just keep doing what you're doing. Cool. Skip over here. Well, yeah, on that giant worm. Cool. Cool. I'll take that. They have never seen a worm with this kind of profile trolled through their safe space, and they have a very difficult time laying off of it. Even pan-sized trout will jump all over that big broad profile worm. And check out the profile on that worm. When you look at it from the side, very broad in the head, very broad right down through the tail, but the tail is very thin, very reactive. There's a lot of action on that tail. Just like the smaller worms, I am rigging these to roll. I'm usually not pairing these with a Dodger. That's a Rapala size bait, a medium sized Rapala size bait that you could troll slowly, and when the fish come in and they touch it, it's soft, it feels real, it holds scent. It is just a flat out winner. Let me show you the one I was using today. Oh, I'm tangled. Okay, I'm back. Tangle solved. I was also running this on lead core down about 6 feet. Main line, I was bringing it down to a small chrome trolling rudder right there because this worm, it's got a robust profile. It rolls through the water and it will twist your line if you're not using a rudder and or a trolling swivel. So I'm basically using the same rig I use on the smaller worms, just bigger hardware. 10-pound test fluorocarbon, number 6 octopus hook in the nose, and a number 8 treble down in the tail. Sometimes I substitute the treble for a second number 6 octopus hook there. If there's a lot of debris in the water, grass, leaves, algae, whatever, and the treble hook is picking that up, I'll go with the single hook. But I do like that treble back there just because, hey, more points is better when it comes to hooking the fish. You have to be patient when you troll this. You'll have a lot of fish that come in and hit it 1, 2, 3 times before they get that hook and get hooked. But rest assured, don't move the rod. Just sit on your hands. Don't mess with anything. Just be patient and they will find the hook. It might take them 3 or 4 hits to do that, but once they have it, you got them, and you got them good, because this bait utilizes large hooks. So it's a real winner. When I busted this out this morning, my clients kind of gave me a sideways look like, are you serious? You're gonna run that for trout? 15 minutes into the trip, we had a 2.5 pound trout in the box. End of story. They were sold. So the moral of this story is we're not done, finding all the available trout baits out there. Soft plastics are a great example of an area that is kind of wide open to trout trolling. There's a lot of baits out there. There's a lot of shapes out there. There's a lot of experimentation that can be done with those various types of baits. And that I'm really passionate about experimenting, about developing new techniques. And if I do want to pat myself on the back here, and I will a little bit, I've really hit it out of the park in terms of developing soft plastics aimed at the trout trolling community. They're highly effective. They're very, very cost efficient. They don't cost a lot of money. You can catch multiple fish on the worms. This one's caught over a dozen fish right here. That little pink trout Trix I had right there, I don't know how many trout that's caught, several. We fished one worm all day today and caught multiple fish on it. So if you're looking for a bait that you can experiment with, a bait that the trout really kind of find irresistible, and something that's going to give you a lot of bang for the buck, look no further than soft plastic trout worms. You can pick up Trout Trix worms in my store, and upcoming you're going to be able to pick up Trout stick worms in there as well. I'm not comfortable with these yet though. I've got to kind of figure out the finer points of the rigging, but once I do, I'm ready to hit the sell button, and they will be in the store as well. So I'm Kel Kellogg. Thanks for all the support. I will catch you next time right here on YouTube. Don't forget the plastic worms. They are deadly.